to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemmy Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot.
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough in Chrissy.
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
And learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Tim.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a 397 scented episode. This is apparently a hard thing to find for cars. So 397 is a fragrance with a powerful trail, balances the nobility of iris with the depth of patchouli and an alluring vanilla accord. All right, so it's about Hondas.
No,
to
it's
create
not.
the perfect scent of happiness. This is delicate blend of
I think this is very
Iris.
car related because it's not black ice, which we all have found in
I
every
mean,
junkyard
it is-
car
it
and
looks-
every Lemons car.
It's
Sure.
not a
That we-
tree. It's black,
Except for the
though.
Chrissy's, you know. Yeah, it's not
Anyway,
it's not the
it-
tree. Yeah.
It delivers a
balance
joyful
is-
and uplifting fragrance experience. So do you rock scents in your car? Chances are it isn't this one, but it could be for just €4, apparently. The Scent Reserve fragrance, 397.
I really struggled with 397. Very sorry.
This is my favorite one yet.
Honestly,
Sorry,
I,
not
I, feel
sorry.
like,
Favorite
I
one.
feel like you nailed it. I really, I was like, when it started describing it, I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm like, oh yeah, nope. Everyone who has built a Lemons car or goes to the junkyard on a regular basis probably has cataloged more in-car,
But probably not
fragrance
that
enhancers.
one.
Not this one, but I bet everyone, when I said black ice, understood it.
Of course.
I feel like I should raise my wine glass in my face and say, this has balances of nobility with iris in the depth of
I-
I've
patchouli.
And in
never
the
heard
alluring-
anyone use patchouli in a
Alluring
positive light.
vanilla.
So that's
No,
impressive bit of advertising. Yeah. So, yeah. Well done, Chrissy. Well done.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I figured, and I did not write that. I literally copied it off the website. Yes.
You know,
Well,
you're getting
and if you
boxes of
want
that
it-
for bribes.
Oh, I don't know if I
If
want
you
it.
want to
No,
order
thank you.
this for a
thank you.
bribe at a race where we're not there because we don't want it,
I don't want it.
we will have it. We will have it
Link
linked
in the
our
show
show
notes.
notes.
And then you can tell me how it is because I kind of want to know, but I don't.
Oh, you know how it is. It's bad.
Okay.
Patchouli-
I don't know why you would put.
yeah,
Why do you put any of
patchouli
these things
infused
together?
lotion for Chrissy is going to be amazing.
I don't understand. Iris, vanilla. What is iris pallidea butter? You missed that word. Yeah, they really
If
go
we
back
didn't
to the
recognize that. We know what
Right?
patchouli is. We don't know.
They
what
go
the-
back to the patchouli. Okay. Anyway,
We're
what you
never letting
working-
the patchouli go. It's always the
What's
patchouli.
what you? Let's move on. What you working on? Chris is working on things. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been busy, pretty much. So what's things are going on? The MG listing is live on Bring a Trailer.
Yay!
If any of you may have seen that,
Yay!
it is going to end on Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So if you are interested or know anyone that is, tell them about it. As of we are recording, which is Wednesday at 7:42 p.m. as we write this, it is up to 11,125.
It's a hell of a deal.
Steal.
yeah.
That is a steal for this
Well,
car.
it's not going to stay there. It's going to go up. I mean, it always goes up a couple grand at the end if you get.
We're trying to
couple
get people to be like, "Ooh, that's a great deal. I should go there."
is
and
a
bid
great
on
deal.
It. Come on, man. Yeah, yeah.
Anything
It's
less
a
than
steal at
30
11.
for this car is a good deal.
It really kind of is because it comes with a story, which is fantastic.
And they
But
love
yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a
So, like,
story.
Today,
That's
with the other night,
so
or
pretty.
whatever, this weekend, we took it out to a brewery on a beautiful
Oh,
80-degree day when it was going on back roads, which is where this car thrives, is on an 80-degree day on back roads. It's like, yes, this is the use case for this car. That's about it. But that was the use case. Today, I took it to work, and at work, I went out and made a little walk around video and posted that up because apparently Bring a Trailer people like that kind of thing. And when you post extra pictures or video, everyone who is watching it gets a notification that there's something. And As of right now, we have
Mm.
736 watchers and 3,250 views. So
Yes.
What I
Let's
have
see.
noticed watching this one, because also, man, if the BAT commenters, which are different than the buyers, sometimes there's some overlap, but if the commenters smell the slightest thing off about the car, like, oh, in picture 42, the door alignment appears to dip a half a millimeter. Clearly, this one was manufactured at the number 2 plant. Blah, 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 blah. And if the seller is not on it, it's blood in the water. Your comment section has been really positive. So clearly, some
Yes.
of the most anal retentive internet people
British
have,
people.
have given this
They're
car
probably not British people. They're probably
Yeah.
just,
have given this car an unofficial kind of seal of approval.
we'll see. We'll know
we
on
shall
Friday.
see. Yep.
I just remember when our
Um,
friend Michael Deeb posted up his 914.6. Somebody went friggin' nuts just over literally the door gap on the bottom side of the passenger door. It was like
Wow.
100 comments about this. It was a great car because I'd driven that car. This is a great car. Yeah.
this is the best it's ever been. It runs and drives great, like better.
You
Like
drove
even
it to
just
work
today, I
today,
was-
didn't you? Yep.
Yeah, but like I was going over like railroad tracks, and the car it's like tight. Everything it doesn't rattle over bumps or anything. Nothing. It just goes. It's great.
Like this conversation. Can someone help me understand what quote oil leaks are noted by seller means? I'm trying to find out whether the seller has pointed these out, or does that just mean the seller acknowledges this car has oil leaks in general? Now, our listener base is laughing because that's how
I'm
you know a
laughing.
car. That's how you know a car has oil. It leaks.
Also, British car.
British car. And just like 2 comments up, these cars have road draft tubes. They all leak. Totally normal. You don't know that guy. He just said that. It's nice.
Yeah. And my response was, just for clarification, I think this is about as nice as I could possibly be. Thanks for asking for clarification. I'm acknowledging and disclosing the car has oil leaks. I don't think anyone considering a 65-year-old British car would expect one to be leak-free unless it has no oil. But I wanted to be clear. The car leaks a bit of oil.
The other guy.
Sporty spice.
Yeah, the other guy. For those interested, driving video 1 shows the speed at 60 miles an hour, needle straight up, and the RPM at 3,500, again, straight up, which is identical to that on my 61. I suspect a standard differential is in there.
Right, yeah. The funny part is you could change the differential and it wouldn't change because the speedometer drive gear's on the back of the trans. So it's the trans output shaft, not the diff. So this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Anyway,
You can
Moving
comment
along.
on that after
Moving
it
on.
sells. You
yeah.
can just troll people after it sells would be amazing.
I did some trim work on the house. There's been some rotting trim boards around the picture window in the back off the kitchen since we bought the house. And it's always been like, yeah, I got
Over
to
there.
do that someday. And then,
Yeah.
I built a race car, had dinner, went out in the boat or something. I don't know. Yesterday was the day. It was down to 81 degrees as a high. It was nice. I had the evening from 4 o'clock open, so I tore it all apart and I had to go to Lowe's and Home Depot both to get the right parts and got it structurally repaired yesterday. And tonight I sealed it back up with new PVC trim boards and caulking, and so it's weather tight again, which is great. And I'm trying to do some engine work on the boat. It is not a happy camper, and I don't know why. I took the entire air and fuel injection rail systems apart and cleaned everything really thoroughly. Ohmed out the air and fuel injectors, found one air injector that was out of spec a little, so I replaced that. Now it doesn't work. Still doesn't work. Now there's a big fuel leak, and I just kind of put it in the corner and said, I'll deal with you later. Once I get some more fuel line, I have to take the whole fuel system apart to figure out why it's leaking profusely when it shouldn't. But I'll get back to that someday. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Oh, good.
Oh,
All
I
right.
figured out why the Camaro was only running on 7 cylinders sometimes is the spark is jumping from the jacket to the cylinder head on the spark plug wire on cylinder number 8, which fortunately is on the passenger side, which is slightly accessible, as opposed to the one on the driver's side, which is completely inaccessible. So it got
Camaro
new-
problems.
Yeah, it got new tires yesterday, and it's going to the detailers on Friday. And when it comes back, I'll deal with that other crap. Done. Mental.
Nice.
What have you been doing?
So it is our busy time for work, and I've been going in like at 2 a.m, which is just really messing with my sleep schedule. I just got up about 35 minutes ago. I took a trip. We're going to talk more about that in a bit. And in a bit of sad news, just this morning, if you have met my sausage dog, Cheech, he is no longer with us.
Oh,
Oh,
poor
my
Cheech.
gosh.
He was so
So
cute
sorry,
and
He
Michael.
was
nice.
so cute.
Yeah, he was
How
he-
old? He was pretty
six-
old.
He was old.
16.
16.
and
Yeah.
about the last year or so, he'd had a noted kind of heart thing, and the vet thinks it might have actually just been like a stroke, kind of combined with his behavior this morning. So it was painless. He just but Vicky had to like go outside and see him just like laying there not breathing. So
Oh, poor
Oh,
Cheech. He was a nice
that's
little dog.
awful.
he was. He's
I'm
yeah.
so
he-
sorry,
He was
Mental.
great.
Yeah,
That's awful.
yeah. So, and I only share that because I know that there's lots of like folks that I forget Fort Kickass has noted that not only do Lemons people tend to be adopt pets, like rescue pet people, there's a unusual percentage of us that have sausage dogs. I don't know what kind of correlation it is, but we have a higher percentage of sausage dogs than I think general population of dog people. But yeah. So, and I know there in fact he was with us at the 25 Hours of Thunderhill, so I know a lot of guys have met that dog, and lots of people liked him because he liked to lay in laps and not go anywhere. That was the one
Mhm.
where Jim Wakeman, who was allergic to dogs, Jim Wakeman let Cheech sit in his lap for a
He's
45
like,
minute
I'll be dead
parade.
later, but like
Yeah.
this is great.
The nice
And
little
even
dog.
had that as his like social media
Oh,
profile
yeah, it was a good picture.
Yeah.
Shoot. So
Oh,
sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry, buddy.
Hmm.
Pour
So
one
now
out
it's
for
just
Cheech.
Moko.
Oh,
Oh, we still it's just we
Just
just got
Moko.
just the
What-
rat dog.
What
Yeah.
are they doing?
I think he kind of like sniffed him before we took him to
Yeah.
they came by. They're gonna cremate him and get us the little paw print thing, and so like Moko kind of sniffed him while we had him wrapped up in his favorite blanket. And I don't think if it's anything like the last time, it'll be like a day from now, and he'll kind of walk around the house confused and look at us
Uh-huh.
like, where's the other one? But
It's quieter in
he's actually knowing that Vicky's really sad right now, so he keeps like following her around.
That's good. She needs it, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, so again, not trying to be a downer. 16 years with that dog, and that's always the joke: is why do your dogs live so long? Because it's awesome being my dog. You have like no responsibility. You get fed, and most of
Yes.
them come from. And Cheech was one of them. He came from a bad situation, and we'd forgotten he likes to run away until we went to Monaco a couple of years ago, and we had him at a dog center, and he was trying to walk out of their house and find us. Because
Aw.
he never wandered off when he was here. Because I'm not leaving this place. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
We're like, oh
But he's
yeah,
just-
we keep forgetting to warn people about that. He'll dig under a fence. Sorry, and yeah, they found him like 2 blocks down the street. Just like, I'm gonna find my house. Yeah, but
I'm
anyway.
looking.
Yeah.
Where's Leclerc?
Yeah.
I think this is the street he lives on. You're funny.
Dad was watching a show one time, and it looked a lot like this.
Crazy.
So, yes,
All right.
that's my life.
We'll
Chrissy,
talk
you've been busy. Yes.
Yeah, with nothing good. We'll hear all about you have an epic story to go along with that. That's what we're going to be talking about. Topic time. So
3.
okay, great. I've been super busy with work and just doing stuff around the house and trying to keep up. Chris is doing all this other stuff, so I'm going to do all the rest of the stuff. So nothing interesting here, but Tim has got interesting things. So what are you doing?
So, well, first of all, our BFFs from Austin, Texas, just arrived a couple days ago.
This
So,
your golf buddy that you played in a
Yep.
tournament you don't remember much of?
Yep.
That guy.
I mean, I remember getting there. Yeah. So they bought a Mercedes Sprinter van conversion RV. Took 5 days to drive up to Maine.
Hashtag van life.
Yep, and it's sweet. So they're parked up on the up in our parking area right here. So they're staying in the camper. We're doing life together, but sleepy time in opposite structures, which is cool. But we're heading out to Moosehead Lake tomorrow, which is the largest lake in Maine. And we were like, all right, so Moosehead Lake kind of looks like this, and
Like a bottle.
we're staying at the cap of the bottle up here. So we were chatting with a couple of locals at the golf course the other day, and we said, yeah, we're going up to Moosehead Lake. They're like, oh, where are you staying? And it's like Sabig, or I'm gonna butcher this. It's like I don't know. It's at the northmost point, and they were like, oh, that place? Yeah. You've got 33 miles on a logging road that is mostly shale, so you should bring a spare tire. And Ray's like, well, that's going to be interesting because I don't have a spare tire, and the front tire and the rear tire are different sizes because it's a dually in the back. So we're not going to bring a spare tire. We're going to just hope for the best. So
At least get one of those poke it fix a flat kit, so it'll get you out of the dirt.
So although we've got a fun topic this week, we may have another.
You might have to follow up
next week's show covered. Also,
rip our buddy Tim, who was eaten by a moose. Yeah, so
totally.
So you're going to the Sabumic Wilderness Campground?
That's the one. Yep, Sabumic Wilderness Campground. It's way up there. So that'll be super fun. But I've been doing work in the garage. Bought some cabinets on Facebook Marketplace that my friend Macy was putting together today while I was doing all the wiring. I bought those. I'm sure you've all seen those tools where it like strips the sheathing off of the wiring to the length that you want, and it's got the twister for the ground wires and all the things. So I bought those on Amazon, and yeah, spend the $20. Those things are awesome. They're really good. So
they make them automotive size too.
They do.
At the behest of a friend, I bought a set and that has made life a lot easier.
Yeah, my kit came with 5 different wire strippers for different gauge wires, and they've got an adjustment on them where you can slide the neck in and out to depend on how much wire you want to strip off of the thing. So it was great. So code says you need to have an outlet every 12 feet on a wall. And if you have a sink, you need to have at least 2, and they have to be a minimum. They want to be like 4 inches above the high water line and blah, blah, blah. Well, whatever. Like outlets are cheap. So I put in on the bottom floor 36 outlets. And 8 of those are 20 amp outlets, and I'm also plumbing in or roughing in an outlet for the 2-post lift that I'm currently negotiating with somebody on Facebook Marketplace. It is an Atlas lift. He's going to send me more information. I don't know if it's a 7,500 or 10,000 pound lift. He's asking $1,800 for it, so that would be amazing to get that sucker in there.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting a spot set up for a welder. So I'm going to have a 220 line for the welder, and I've got to figure out what the requirements are for the lift. I know some of them have 2-phase or 3-phase, depending on what it is. So I've got to figure that out so I can get that wired up, which has been cool. And then on the other coast, on the West Coast, I had my buddy Dave allegedly go and scope out a fuel cell that is for sale from a lemons guy who's getting out of lemon. He does Lucky Dog and a bunch of other stuff too, but they're selling their Nissan. They've got a 24-gallon fuel cell. He's trying to get rid of. It needs a bladder, but it's got a bunch of other stuff in it. So it's got like rollover valves and extra piping for remote fill neck, and it's got probably $1,000 of extra stuff on it.
Wow.
If you
But
find yourself still needing a fuel cell, guess who has one in their garage right now that is not going to use it? 22-gallon. Bladder's expired, but it
Proven.
still works. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the bladder in this one needs to be replaced. I don't know if it's expired or there's an issue. And I was like, well, that's not a big deal. So I looked it up. They're expensive. Like a
Oh, yeah.
fabric
Yes.
bladder for this is like $1,600 to $1,800.
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, you also
So-
need to get this fuel cell from them, because if you don't use it, or Dave gets you that one, we have teammates who need this on the West Coast.
Otherwise, it's going to Thompson with us for the for sale sign on the paddock. So,
Well, put it in the boat. I'll tow it across the country.
okay, great.
So, yeah. So I've been.
Well, hope you're listening,
hawking-
Corey.
Yeah, I've been hawking Facebook Marketplace for all of the things. It's amazing what you can find in there. So like 3 giant racks of for shelving, like heavy duty shelving for $15. Like, yes, that sounds great. So
All these things that people get rid of, and Tim's like, yes, me,
yes,
me,
Swooping
me.
I'll
in.
take it.
Yeah, me,
I'll
me,
take
me,
it.
me, me.
I
I
have
have
I have a-
$47. No.
fucking guy.
No haggling.
$3. I
Wow.
want my $3.
Must have had,
Oh,
maybe he had something that he already had to buy for $50.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, so that's been good. It's been fun.
Good. News and notes, son.
All right. Brittany Force is officially the fastest human being in the history of the National Hot Rod Association. Our buddy Brad Brownell over Jalopnik recounts the semifinals this past weekend just outside of Seattle, when the two-time NHRA Top Fuel champion and daughter of the legendary John Force set a new speed record. During the semifinals against Doug Coletta, Brittany's Top Fuel dragster achieved a run of 341.85 miles per hour in a mere 3.65 seconds over a distance of just 1,000 feet, which they shortened those two just a few years ago because they were having trouble getting these things hauled down. Her final run was not successful and she did not win the weekend, but she is currently 5th with 9 more races this season. If you don't follow the NHRA, this is not a fluke. This Hendricks driver has been racing for 10 years, and of the 6 fastest runs in the 75-year history of NHRA, she has 5 of them.
Wow. That's great. Especially
Link
Yeah,
to
you-
all of that in our show notes.
If you haven't been to one of these in person,
Go.
buy a ticket and go.
The
interesting.
baptism by nitro is a life-changing experience.
Unbelievable. Get as close as you can and wear headgear because
Oh, God.
you don't need to hear it. You'll feel
No.
it.
Nope, you need foamies and over the ears, and you'll
Oh.
probably still end up doing this.
It is,
Wow.
yeah, blood flow. You will get some blood flow for sure.
Okay. All right. Do you know someone that loves monster trucks? Well, they can turn dangerous with flying appendages, apparently. So Jerry Perez at The Drive tells us a scary story of a monster truck losing a wheel and hitting a car. There's always an element of danger that is inherent in motorsports, so occasionally things do go south. Just ask the owner of this poor Kia Spectra. The malicious monster truck tour stopped at Kitsap Fairgrounds in Bremerton, Washington last weekend, and its roster of big trucks, dirt bikes, and other off-road machinery gave the crowd just a little bit more than they were expecting. And unfortunately, not in a good way. But what would you expect from a show that's called Malicious, right? At some point during the show, the monster truck dubbed Veteran was on the course doing its usual routine when as you might expect, consisted of crushing cars, doing donuts, speeding off ramps, blah, blah, blah. One of those were actually pretty darn impressive. It didn't come out with a consequence. Upon landing, Veteran's left front tire broke the front axle and continued its trajectory forward while the truck limped to a stop. As a typical runaway tires, it didn't stop rolling until something forced it to. In this case, the tire launched off a ramp, flew into the flew over the track's fence, still carrying enough momentum to inflict serious damage to whatever got in front of it. Luckily, and I do mean luckily, it catapulted into a parking lot and ended up smashing an unoccupied Kia. It also hit a Subaru, though not as badly. An unmounted truck tire weighs about 800 to 900 pounds, not including the wheel. So if somebody was in it, or if it hit a grandstand full of spectators, there's probably going to be some casualties. So thankfully, it just hit a car and it smashed the crap out of this car.
So
Good
if you're
thing
looking
was
for a
that Kia
lemons
and a
build,
Subaru.
really, yeah.
Yes.
Just cut the roof off Sasha style. It's fine.
Exactly.
Fine.
And the immortal words of every run on the Grassroots Motorsports Forum. Not a buff out.
Not a buff out.
I don't know that it will, because this one's pretty bad.
Yeah, but we say it anyway.
Right? I know.
Hey, did you guys love Grand Theft Auto? Or maybe you still do. Did you ever want to do it in real life? Well, Justin Hughes at Jalopnik tells the story. Returning to your car only to find it gone is bad enough, but it's even worse when it's your fire truck. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Everett, Washington firefighters late Friday night after returning from a medical call, reports ABC News. At about 11 p.m., the first 911 call came in reporting that a fire truck had crashed into two parked cars and fled. This was around the same time the truck was discovered missing. Soon after, a second call reported the truck smashing about 10 vehicles. Police found 3 additional crash sites while responding to the 2 that had been reported in 911. At least 14 cars were damaged in total, with ABC News reporting at least 16 confirmed. The driver and apparent thief of the truck, whose identity remains unknown, abandoned the truck, fled the scene on foot, and remains at large. The fire truck in question is a 2018 Pierce Enforcer pumper, according to the Everett Fire Department's Facebook post. It's one of the newer vehicles in their fleet and weighs over 35,000 pounds, making it a significant hazard in the hands of a driver not trained to drive a vehicle that heavy or have any consequence for his actions.
We're watching, if you're watching on YouTube, Mental's watching, looking at the post, and they did a map of where all the destruction is, and it's like all over town. I had not watched the video when I was writing this, and so it's like, it's definitely Grand Theft Auto style, because he's like destruction of like a building over here, 2 cars over here, 3 cars over here, like it's all over town.
Yeah.
Also,
they mapped
Pearson.
it like it's around the entire kind of peninsula
Of this town.
Yeah, we'll go back to that. Yeah.
What?
So
Also,
Yes.
Pierce Enforcer Pumper is Tim's sex dungeon name.
And the picture that's on the article, it looks like a really nice, probably 68 to 70 C10 long bed Chevy that is gone. Justice must come swift for this clown.
Did he go on any missions to put out fires while he had it?
And
That would almost be forgivable if he
pick
did
up
like
ladies
put out,
of
like,
the evening
yeah,
and throw
put
her in
out
the
4
back
fires,
of the truck.
rescue 2 cats, and then smash 14 cars. You're
That's
going to get some
not how the-
leniency.
That's not how the
But-
game goes.
How many people did he shoot?
Right?
Yeah.
Did he grab money while he was at it?
Wasted.
Even in Washington State, I'm looking at that Chevy pickup because it's got like, it's unrestored. That truck works for a living. That guy owns a gun. Yeah, he's lucky he ran away.
Actually, in the rest of this article, they did talk about the people that got their cars. And actually, they were talking about one of the trucks. It might have been that truck, about how sad. And there was somebody was supposed to go to a cancer treatment the next day, and they walked out and realized that one of their cars was one of the ones that got hit. I mean, it's not funny, but
That's
yeah. So the rest of
awful.
they were interviewing all of the people that got their cars hit. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The guy had owned it for 35 years. Boo.
So if you're not putting out fires, you just want to go race and you've got $3,000. Well, you know what we're going to say. You might not know about this 89 Toyota Celica GTS hatchback for a mere $3,000. The ad says, unfortunately, it's time to part ways with my Lemons car due to a new career path. The good is it's a swapped with a 3-liter 1MZFE V6. No shit.
No shit.
No shit.
Techno toy tuning rear suspension and Seika coilovers. Past tech for Lemons, Champ, WRL, Lucky Dog, and AER. Tons of spare parts, including brake pads and rotors and RS4 tires, 8 rear wheel bearings.
17 RS4 tires, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wow.
like 17 of them?
Yes, so it says.
That's almost worth the
Oh.
asking price alone, just in tires. Just
I mean,
in
they-
tires.
I'm
But there's
betting-
so
betting
much
they're not
more.
all new.
Right?
I'm sure they're not all new.
No.
8 rear wheel bearings, which are apparently hard to find.
Oh.
The bad is it got water in the fuel cell and still misfires despite new injectors, plugs, coil, and pump. Needs a restart of the fire system. The seat's expired. Needs battery. Includes a 30-foot enclosed trailer.
What?
But it's
New
sketchy.
trailer.
Sketchy but free.
Yep, sketchy but free. No title.
Must go together.
Yep. You
Have
too
to-
can trade a trailer with someone at a stoplight in the middle of the night.
That's all I'm saying. It can
Mental.
happen to you. It could totally happen. Yeah. It's fine.
Mental, you
It's-
can fit so many things, so many bad choices
Oh,
inside that
so
trailer.
many. I can
Mental
fit
can't
all
have
of the
this.
bad choices in that trailer.
Mental
Yeah.
can't
Yes.
have this.
And it's got the decks. You could get up and watch the race from the top.
We've got
Or
Yeah.
we've got
stand
a
on top
GoFundMe.
of it when your trailer is broken down on the side of the road and see how far off that
Wave
tow
people
truck is.
down.
There's a link in the show notes to a GoFundMe page to get $3,000 to buy this trailer for Mental.
No,
Well, the trailer's
there's
free.
not.
You
Yes.
should take the car.
That's what I'm saying. You buy the race car, listener, and then I'll give you money for the trailer. You just have to hold it for a little bit till I come get it because I don't have a truck anymore, which they highlighted on the recent Lemons wrap up for Colorado.
Mhm.
Wah, wah.
Wow.
But seriously,
Good
that's
deal.
somebody that knows how to liquidate stuff that they're not using anymore. They're not trying to get their money back. They're not.
Mm.
I'm not just trying to get what I got in it. They're like, no,
But here's
I-
this free trailer, which I also need out of
Yeah.
my.
I
I'm
need
wondering
this
if-
crap gone.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the 17 tires are. I hope they're not used tires that they just
Oh,
haven't
I'm sure
paid-
there are.
No. Like,
Yeah.
but like totally spent, dead tires,
I'm
corded.
sure a number of them are.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't think
Did you
they're
just-
corded. I bet they're just heat cycled a few times. They're practice
blue.
day tires.
They're
Totally
very
practice
blue.
day
They're
tires.
practice tires. Okay. They're not even
yeah.
not even round anymore. Okay, got it. Okay. Buy
And
that
also,
car.
they're different sizes. Like there's 17 that are 245 15s, and then the 2 of those are new, and then there's 7 that are 225 15s. So you've got choices.
In
I'll usually
future
use that
news,
to reverse
Tim will
stagger.
be begging for one of those tires, any of those tires, on his trip to
Shale Town.
Shale Town.
Okay, let's get there. Upcoming races. There's none. There's
There's
none
none.
till
Nope.
August. Not yet.
Oh.
Oh, not yet. But and then recent results, we don't have those either. So hopefully they had a good time. But it's not gonna be a big time. We have so much of this.
On last week's episode about lemons judging on YouTube, Paul Jan said, my favorite lemony German word is Verschlimmbesserung, an attempted improvement that makes things worse.
I love
I-
that.
I read this.
Verschlimmbesserung is the word.
I read this and then immediately
needs to be a windshield
colored
banner.
it so you would have to pronounce the German word because you're the only one who can. But
Yeah.
I also thought if my call sign was not mental, it would be this. This would be my call sign.
Yeah.
This is what I would be known as.
And the ever observant Al Jones says, I can literally see the bottle of bourbon I bribed him with at pit race sitting behind him. So I know you aren't talking about me. Touche, sir. Touche.
That's good. All right, Mike K quoted us, if you bring a new car, we're probably going to class you a little higher. And then added, bad decisions racing is either doing something very right or very wrong. Even we are not sure. Half the time I write C0 on the text sheet for Eric. And on IG, Hack Factory, aka We Like the Tuna here, said Boston has the worst drivers. Can confirm. Been commuting through Boston for 2 weeks, and I may not be the best driver in the world, but they bring it to a whole new level out here.
We weed out the weak. That's what it is.
Now, as an inspiration for tonight's topic, I did post a picture of the Moon trailer broken down in literally nowhere, California. Troy Hogan
Moon trailer
immediately
got
said
broken down?
that.
Wait, the Moon trailer?
You said
I'm sorry,
posted
the Moon
pictures.
Porsche. The Moon Porsche.
Got it.
Yeah.
Different.
And
So that thing's not back, is it? No.
Different.
No,
No,
it's
it
not
came.
back.
It
no,
crawled out of the.
I'm hoping for a
fog.
new Moon trailer. It's in Florida right now. So, but Troy Hogan said that Porsche is well past the hooptie price point. Roadside assistance is nice. Sometimes. It's more on that in a bit.
Yeah, hold your breath. On the Instagrams, noted YouTuber and lover of unloved Corollas, Kelvin Areola, endorsed a AAA membership as well, while Blake said lots of prayers and an extra $5 in the glove box.
Maybe if you can afford more than 5, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
We've had to do that when our boat
Maybe 50.
died, and we needed to may give them some cash because they towed us home. Okay. July 16th was National Stick Shift Day. We posted our manuals, and as for everybody do the same, we got tagged in several posts. Jackie Kelly, Accord 762, Russ Cardle, Al Jones, and Kevin Beckworth were all tagged us in their posts. So thank you.
Dana K posted his new to him 5-speed Honda Accord.
Oh.
Adam N posted a video we will not be showing, but we will link what the other Narwaki Adam. What? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
who
Yeah.
wrote this, but
I'm sorry. I'm getting my
Anyway.
Narwakis mixed up when I type this up.
somebody showed their manual as well as their race car. Picture the accompanying love note to the drivers of the mid-engine Slant 6 Magnum. To think it could have had a Torque Flight 904 had we taken the easy way out. It's not the way you do it. Nope.
No.
Nope. Tom Buswell had his 58 VW single cab pickup in addition to a 914 that I think is possibly a Cayman and maybe a more modern VW. And DJ 914 added his Miata.
You know what else has a delightful manual transmission? 4 on the floor. It's RMG on Bring a Trailer. And if that's not enough speeds for you, I'm going to have that Z28 Camaro coming up in a few weeks, and that has 6 speeds on that T56, including the interplanetary travel overdrive 6th gear that those things have. It's amazing.
It's one more, isn't it? When you just need a little bit more, over the top. Yeah. It's
Yep.
one more.
Sure
Yes.
is.
Oh, the velociraptor. What's she eating?
Spicy.
Ah,
Hi. Say hi, Stella, to everyone.
All right, we're
to
moving
the
on.
world.
yeah.
Okay, it's
Do you know,
Okay.
I'll say, do you know who is not just, a giant, cute, furry ball of chaos?
Yes.
She's cute. She's just not a furry ball of chaos.
Doesn't usually eat the couch or
Doesn't eat the couch. Doesn't steal fire trucks.
Yes, all of them. Okay. Hi, Mom. Okay, it's my time to talk. Okay, we need.
You would never steal a fire truck. That's a great one.
I don't know.
love
Or
that.
if she
doesn't-
did, she would put out fires and rescue kittens.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, I just
Totally.
doesn't have the most of the opportunity to do so. Okay. We've been waiting for this so long. None of us know this story because we said we don't want to burn pod. So we are very excited to hear the story. I don't know if we're excited, but we are interested.
Titillated.
Sure. Tell us, please.
We know
Please.
that when Mental has a tale of woe and we see the picture of the various things he has on the side of the road, it's like, all right, we're just going to not ask any questions and hear this firsthand because it's
we like
always
to-
gonna be
All right.
that way.
Gather round, children. Getting ready.
around.
I'm getting
Mental
ready. Okay.
because-
Okay.
Because
About the
this
spinning yarn.
presentation is the idea of Tim. I'm going to read 3 very short paragraphs. Your job, listeners, is to guess which one is true. And
We're listeners because we don't know. So
yes,
I'm ready.
And I'm sorry, you co-host. So
Yes.
First, my weekend trip started with a detour to Alice's restaurant, made famous by the song and movie of the same name with Arlo Guthrie. A detour to the Arcangeli grocery store for a life-saving homemade loaf of bread, and a 6-hour wait for a tow truck after they had to go get a second tow truck so that I would have a place to sit.
Okay.
Version 2. My weekend trip started with 2 roadside breakdowns and repairs en route to the Bay Area. One fixed with a zip tie and a Red Bull can pop top.
Amazing.
At a bar, a stunning 25-year-old girl hit on me in front of Dave and Judge Phil. And the weekend ended in a hotel where I paid for my room in cash, but it still had 4 stars on Google.
Okay.
Version 3.
Okay.
My weekend consisted of meeting the designer of the Diablo. I think that's the name of it. A bespoke limited production future car at a I Want My MTV themed party, and ended with a road trip delay in a California Starbucks, where of the 20 people, 6 were conducting job interviews or in the job interview, and another 12 were doing strategy and planning meetings, and one person clearly working remotely because they had an entire circular table to themselves. And I kept my Duolingo streak alive.
One, 2, or 3?
Chris, you're on mute, so we can't
Yeah, I
hear
know.
you.
I have a
Okay.
guess and I have rationale, but I don't want to sway any of my co-hosts.
Okay, so then you go last.
I think
Well, why don't we
all-
just-
we should
Tim,
do
this
we
is
should
your
do
idea.
1, 2, 3, and then hold up like what you
That's what I was
think.
going to say.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So ready? Mental, you have to count us down.
1, 2, 3. So I've got 1 vote for 2 and 2 votes for 3. All right, Chris, run us through your rationale.
It's not 1 because Alice's restaurant is in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Oh, well, AI isn't right. So like it
Right.
makes up its
I
own.
know.
Okay.
the some of the details in 2 were so on brand for mental that I thought it there, like the detail of the Red Bull can pop top. And Mental would want everyone to know that he got hit on by a 25-year-old girl in front of those 2. Yeah, that's my guess is why I'm behind number 2.
Okay. Chrissy.
I know we saw other pictures from the weekend, and I had a hard time understanding what the theme was to the party that you went to. So I like the idea of the I Want MTV themed party. I feel like that fits with some of the outfits that I saw. I don't know about the Starbucks and the people deciding to get job interviews or who was in the Starbucks. And I don't know. I don't know about your duo. I don't want to out you to the internet, to the world, but sometimes your Duolingo streak is not well. And even my family has joked about how much your Duolingo asks for streak freezes because you don't always keep your streak freeze alive. So that may not be accurate. That's my rationale.
Great. Tim.
All right. Well, I know that there is a car in a driven garage that is a hand fabricated car. I don't know what it's called, but I'm pretty sure it's the Diablo, just because of like what what goes on with it and the story of it, and that should be
Yes.
like a separate show topic. So
Yes.
that was the first thing, and I was like, yeah, that's probably it. But
All
more
right.
importantly, I've stopped at Starbucks along I-5, and there are definitely 20 people holding job interviews, working remotely, or plotting corporate takeovers. So that was what really sold it for me right there.
All right. I did play a bit of trickery. All three versions of that story are correct. Everything I dumped it into Chat GPT to see what he would come up with. All of that happened. So I left here very early Saturday morning, at like 1 a.m. because I was trying to beat the heat, drove out there, and my throttle cable backed off twice. The rod on there. And the second time I'm like, I'm not doing this 4 more times to get to the Bay Area. So I looked around on the ground, found the Red Bull pop top, and I only know it was a Red Bull because it had the little Red Bull thing on it. Got it on there, zip tied it. It made it not only there, but also, held the mechanic who's working on it right now had to cut it off. I
Wow, that's admirable and wonderful. I'm very proud of you. That's great.
Good
yes.
job, Christian
Now,
Horner.
while the Alice's restaurant is in Massachusetts, behold, Alice's Restaurant, Skyline Boulevard, Woodside, California, where because I was running behind because of my 2 roadside repairs, I met up with everybody because we were doing a road trip for Judge Jeff's 50th birthday. And we did that. Then we went from there down to Pescadero to the store where they had this fresh baked bread. That's important because it did save my life later because that was all I had to eat while I was sitting on the side of the road for 6
Literally
hours.
saved my life.
Waiting for a tow truck. California's new commercial driver rules require that if they are traveling over a certain distance, they have to have a co-driver that goes with them, and they have to log all of it. And the guy called me and said, "Are there any passengers?" I'm like, "Well, there's just me." And he's like, "Oh, there's nobody there to pick you up? I got to go get another truck because all I have right now is a 2-seater." So he had to go back to Fresno and pick up the 4-seater truck so that he
Wow.
could drive me out to Morgan Hill, California, where I paid for my room in cash. I'm absolutely certain the guy just pocketed it, which I didn't care because the room actually was very clean. The reviews are very simple on Google. The Morgan Hill Inn. It's a 2-star because there's no breakfast, there's none of this, but the room is clean. Everybody's like, it's a very simple, clean room for a very small amount of money. And that was a third of a mile from the repair shop that has called me twice already with updates on the car. The carbs, it runs so rich, it literally just fouled my plugs, which I had removed and cleaned that Friday. And it fouled them again. But now I know why, because someone actually drilled out the jets. So they are bigger than they are labeled on the side. The guy that's working on it right now in Morgan Hill, California, is a Weber guy. So he's gone through and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened to those jets, but I'm going to be putting some smaller ones." He's actually even gotten it to where it will idle normally and I don't have to fight with it. They're going to do some brakes while they're at it, and they will go through and make some adjustments to the transmission. What you got, Tim?
Lemon's media guy Dante is a partner in a shop for Porsches in the San Jose area.
Yes. Newer stuff. I had to argue with my roadside assistance person because they were like, "Oh, there are 5 repair shops in your area." And I said, and I'd already looked, I said, "Name those." And she reads off the names of all these repair shops, and all of them had the word tire in their title because they're all semi-truck places. I'm 100 miles north of Bakersfield. I'm an hour outside of Buttonwillow on the 5. There was nothing at that exit. And I'm like, I need an air-cooled specialist, air-cooled Volkswagen/Porsche. And she found me this place. So I'm sure Dante probably does a great job. But I was looking, it was a dune buggy shop in Bakersfield that I thought would be a good choice, but they wouldn't tow me that far. And she had to get permission from her supervisor to ask for a tow outside of the local limit because USAA, who I have been with for 20 years, 25 years, they contracted out their roadside assistance and it sucks now. So I will be getting a AAA membership. And at Jeff Gates's party on Alameda, I got to chat with Alejandro finally, the guy who designed that car. He has got a fascinating history. He's an engineer, and the reason he went to engineering schools because his dad would not pay for him to go to art school. But then he managed to find engineering places where he could be an artist, and that's how he got into that. And he has built and designed some really cool stuff as part of his career. And if you've been reading Merle Martin for years, Judge Phil, he is from Alameda, and he was home working on his mom's house, and he knew where all the cool bars. So me, him, and Dave hopped in an Uber, went down to this great bar, and then Deb and Jeff and their whole family joined us later. And while I was there, this absolutely, she probably clearly altered in an altered substance came up and talked. I think it was the hair and my cool jacket, my I want my MTV outfit that I was wearing that got her attention. But yeah, that every element of all of that was true. If I'd have tried to make up something as absurd as this weekend, I don't think I could have. So I just broke it into 3 chunks.
Well done, Mental. Very well done.
And the Starbucks was in Morgan Hill. I got up, went and checked on my car, and I had a couple hours to kill for I to be at the airport. And I walked in, and literally there were 2 business meetings going on, all these. And I'm like, oh, California every friggin' time. Holy snakes.
Holy snakes.
Yeah. Oh, so that is our show topic. We are talking about road trip woes, and I threw it out there. It's not just tales of breakdowns, but because we unfortunately still do it, but breakdowns before versus breakdowns now, and lessons we have learned, and things that and that we ask you guys for your input as well. So, and I had this when 6 hours I'm standing around with nothing to do watching the sunset. And I'm frustrated with my roadside assistance, and I'm frustrated with my car, and I'm frustrated with all the situations on there. And all I have is sparkling water and fresh baked bread.
Delicious bread.
It was really good. Yeah. But I actually had to like forcibly talk myself into not being angry and chuckling at not just the absurdity of this, but the fact that I am now equipped to deal with that absurdity. I remember like having wheels fall off my cars before, and when I was on the bubble, employment wise, where you're just, you're making enough money to get you to the end of the week. Situations like this, and not even road tripping 6 hours from my house, road tripping 45 minutes from my house. This would be a get me evicted situation, because I was right there on the edge, and I just could not afford to not go to work, because then I wouldn't have a job, and I don't have a job, and I don't have no money, and I can't fix a car to go get another job. There's a lot of times that I have spent in my life on the side of the road.
You almost had 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer in that story, Mental. You were
Yes. Well, and Chris, you lived out in Wyoming. You had,
Montana, but yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, Montana. Sorry, Montana. And you and I have, discussed Tales of Woe. And I don't have your brains or experience mechanically, but you've had some interesting breakdowns, probably on times when you were not, as firmly employed as you are now.
Yeah, but I also have always been a bit risk averse, and that has led me to take care of my stuff as best I possibly can and be pretty good at it.
Fewer stories.
Fewer
stories.
I take care of my stuff to the best of my ability. I just don't have your ability. And I am not risk averse. And
No
a lot of times,
apparently
no
not.
way.
No.
And a lot of times did not think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a couple off the top of my head, and I'll do one I've told here before, but it still applies. Is in my MGB in high school. This is before I knew much of anything. Like, I didn't know to think that that is an old ancient retread on the back of this car. No clue how old this tire is. Didn't care. I'm tooling along at 80 because I got the overdrive to work and the MGB is great. And I put a stereo in it. So I don't really care. I'm driving along. And all of a sudden that retread comes apart and flies off the tire and wraps itself around the axle. And it's just this big bang and then bang, 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 bang as the retread's hitting the inside of the car. And I'm in the left lane, and I was like, oh, the car just exploded. Like, I got to get off the best I can. So I see grass to my left. I'm like, perfect. I'll go into the median just to see what's wrong instead of having to go a couple of lanes over. And then I didn't think of and notice until I was in the median was the drainage ditches. So as I go through the first one, bang in the MGB, and I think I get briefly airborne. It must have been a great view for the people who were following me.
They're like, holy shit, what is this kid doing?
And then I'm trying to slow down, but of course that tire with no tread on it now just immediately locks up because it has no tread and it's in the grass. And so then the car's all squirrely trying to stop. Eventually I could get it stopped and have to pull the seat cover out of my butt a little bit. But yeah, the car had the retread had wrapped itself around the axle and torn the brake line off. It's like I had a jack, fortunately. It didn't have a handle, so I'm using like the little they're right. Well, they're wire wheels, and didn't have the knockoffs. It was it was an octagon, so it had the wire wheel wrench, and it didn't have a hammer, so I have to use the jack as a hammer to hammer the wire wheel knockoff, and then I had to use the wire wheel knockoff end in the jack to turn the jack. Like, I got it to work, but it had a spare tire which had some air in it, so fantastic. I did that, and then I proceeded to drive the rest of the 50 miles home to my house with no brakes and who knows what else questionably on the tire.
50 miles with no brakes. You're risk averse, are you sure?
Well, I was 18 at most when I did this, and I think even I at the end was like, that was a bad idea. Like, in the parking brake like kind of sort of works, so I'm just downshifting and keeping an eye out and going a little slower. Yeah, that was rough, but I made it home. And the other one is the story I've told here too, is driving the Corvette up to Cape Cod before the rally when it just got worse and worse and worse, and I'm in a sketchy, completely unlit parking lot in Rhode Island, and I can't find anything wrong, and it's getting worse, and I'm just nursing the thing along. And if I gave it a break, it would get better-ish, but I'm trying to avoid the sketchy people in the unlit parking lot at the rest stop on the side of the highway in Rhode Island, because those terrible things happen to those places. So yeah, it made it eventually, but that was there was a lot of sketchiness, and this is not that long ago. So had a cell phone, had like an idea in my head of who are the people who I know around here.
I had a wife who was watching you on Find My Friends on your iPhone and said, well, you're stopped. What's going on? Hi. Because I wasn't with him. So I could just say like, see, it's going poorly. What's up now?
And all the other really significant breakdowns I've had are probably on Babe Rally. So, which, Fiero throws a rod.
Yeah,
Right, exactly. Fiero throws a rod, Saab blows cooling hoses, and wastegate control. VW
lost
loses all its
the
brakes.
gas tank on the side of the road.
Yeah, gas tank fell out of the Saab. Like, there's all kinds of things like that have happened, but those were kind of intentional-ish.
Well, and I feel like that's so different. Babe Rally, you're all, even if you have a whole bunch of hoopties together, it's so supported. So it's not what like Mental's going to the group that is going to travel together. But when you're traveling together and you're all starting at one place, you always have a car that's able to support you. So even if it's the Cressida that's behind you that is making sad trombone noises at the video of you guys slowing down on the side of the road on the rally, at least then you have a chase car and you're not sitting alone with your piece of bread. At least your friends are probably going to go get chips and eat them in front of you.
Dave quite enjoyed stopping and eating chips every time. He's in his nice Toyota while I'm fixing my Chevrolet. Dave's eating his chips every time.
Right. So at least, you don't have to eat your
ran out
bread by yourself.
Yep.
So that's why I feel like it's a little bit different when you're on a road rally because you've got people around. Somebody can go chase parts for you. You're never really alone kind of thing.
Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
So my probably my worst or most embarrassing version of these stories, and I tend to I've tended what since a young age. I'm gonna buy a new damn car because I don't want to sit on the side of the road and worry about dying, right? So, but I had for all of my childhood wanted a C3 Corvette so bad, like early generation chrome bumper, front and rear. So I bought a 72 Corvette that needed work. And I started doing work on it, put a new MSD in it, got rid of the points and started like tinkering around. This is when I first really started to get into working on cars. And then Amy and I, this is in New Jersey, and then Amy and I moved to California unexpectedly. And my uncle was like, "Well, you can keep it in my house for a while. That's fine." I said, "Okay, that's cool. Let me do that until we figure out what's going on." We're living in a townhouse in California. Pan forward 3 years, and we finally have a house. And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna ship the car out to California." So I had a mobile mechanic go and check on it, make sure it would start and run because it's got to get on the trailer, right? So he checks it out, fires up, a little bit of work. He's like, "Yeah, it runs rough, but it'll move." So it gets on the car carrier, comes across California. I get my buddy Jim to drive me out to. So if you are familiar with Northern California, we were in the East Bay, and we're in the Livermore wine area. And there's something called the Altamont Pass, which is a much smaller version of the Grapevine. So big hill you've got to go over to get from kind of the Bay Area into the Central Valley. And so they're only going to drop it off at this spot in Central Valley. So he gives me a ride to the location, wait for the truck to show up. Guy shows up, pulls the car off of the trailer, and I was like, "All right, I've got to get this back to my house." And it's not far. It's probably 30 miles at the most. So car's running. And I'm like, "All right, Jim, follow me. Like, this car's been sitting for 3 years. Let's see what happens." It's automatic.
Let's see what happens.
It's got like the quarter panels missing. Like it's a project car. It's a project car. So I get in the car and it's driving great. I'm like, "All right, it feels pretty good. Like, steering doesn't feel weird. Brakes feel okay, a little spongy, but I'm like, all right, we could do this." So out of the parking lot, go over the Grapevine. It's like a 5-mile drive from where we are, pretty flat, to the beginning of the hill. So we get there, we get in the hill, and we start going up the hill. And as the incline starts to increase, the car starts to sputter. And I pull off the side of the road on the shoulder. Jim pulls in behind me, hazards. He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know, just stalled out. Let me try to fire it up again." It fires up. Like, okay, cool. And put it in gear, blinker on, pull back into traffic that's going 90 miles an hour, right? Car keeps dying. So now it's getting worse. So now I'm started up and the car fires up. And then I like jam on the gas to rev it up as high as I can. Just gear drop it into drive, peel out, peeling up, like a quarter mile. I passed over the Altamont a quarter mile at a time, fucking tire smoke the whole way. Get over the top and just coast down to this Corvette shop that for like by the grace of God happened to be at the bottom of the hill. And I go in, and if you know that style Corvette, so 68 to 82, they all had the fill for the gas tank on the rear deck lid. And it was a flap you'd flip up, you unscrew the cap, and you put the hose right in. Well, there's two drains right there. Well, when the car sits for almost 4 years, the drains get clogged up, and the seal's not really good because 60s. So the water would fill up, and it went up through around the threads and then into the gas tank. So the gas tank was like mostly full of water. So it's amazing I didn't hydrolock the engine, but there was enough gas in there to get me over the top a quarter mile at a time. And that was pretty awful because the Altamont, it's 5 or 6 lanes, and all of the like monster trucks with towing like 5 things of gasoline are going right by you on the slow lane. So yeah, awful. Don't do that.
Don't do that. So we
Don't do
did
that.
get a lot of advice. 2 very quick ones on there. Our buddy Corey, carry a credit card with a big limit, something I did not have when I was younger. I can absolutely empathize. I did have the freedom on this one to not have to worry about losing my job or having a place to stay. And Al Jones also endorses the AAA car club membership, even though their service isn't reliable as it used to be. Being able to call for a free tow or even just a couple of gallons of gas, as in Tim's situation, would be a lifesaver. Do you guys have rules for this stuff that you guys do? Because, I threw this in the notes and you guys are chuckling, but, if you're road tripping a hooptie, just assume it's going to break and have a plan for it. Like Chrissy talked about, on a Babe rally or at a Lemons rally, somebody will be there to help you out or sell you a car. And then
Bring parts that you might need.
Yeah. We still have AAA membership because even modern cars, stuff happens. Like
I have to pay the bill. It's literally in my hand. It's right here to pay the bill. Yes.
yeah, like the Mercedes came with run flat tires because it has no spare. Guess what it no longer has?
yeah,
Run flat tires.
And actually we needed it with the CLS because we hit something on the Jersey in Jersey, and the car was massively full of stuff,
and the air pump
and
broke.
Staggered.
Right.
And they were staggered wheels that you couldn't swap them.
Right.
Yeah.
The air pump, the one that came with the car broke. Eventually I got a much nicer one. And
Still have that one.
yeah, that's a good one. And but if we weren't right near Jeff's house, then we would have had to use that. But we were near Jeff's house. It was easier to call Triple Jeff than it was to call AAA. So,
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I'll throw this out there. Look, everything's electronic pay. You can pay with your phone, stuff like that. When the weather's nice, I walk up to a little street to the convenience store for my office just to get outside and get a little sun. And half the time I keep forgetting. I leave my wallet on my desk and I'll just pay with my phone. It's great. But out in the boonies, you better have some cash.
yeah. I usually keep 100 folded up somewhere just in case. It's like that's enough to like maybe get you pulled out of a ditch or get you some gas or just something to grease the wheels.
Don't bring $47.
Yeah.
No.
Not enough IMO.
The guys the tow truck driver that came and got me, they were phenomenally nice. And it was just nice being able to tip on that one. And then, I'm just old and don't like being uncomfortable. And I've got a lovely little travel cooler that even when I'm driving the RV and I've got a refrigerator, I've got this travel cooler that I keep next to me, and I'll always throw a couple of Gatorades, a couple of waters. I like my fizzy water and stuff like that. Have some of that with you. Where I screwed up on this trip though was know your roadside assistance if you have it. If you got it from the people you bought your car from or your insurance company, because my insurance company changed and I never bothered to check into that, which is what put me in a bad spot because I had like 40 miles of towing. That was it. And I am, a lot of us, we do stuff out in nowhere. 40 miles is
in
just
a different
40 miles.
state.
Yeah,
you're in a
40
different
miles
state.
wouldn't get you from the freeway to High Plains Raceway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's that. And but what other tips do you guys have? I mean, Chris, you carry 100. Chrissy, you're paying your You AAA. Tim, what'd you learn about the Corvette over the mountain pass? Or just stuff that it won't happen to you that same way again because you always do a thing to prevent it.
Yeah,
Uh,
have it flatbedded to your house.
Mhm.
don't
Mm.
yeah, don't trust it. Car's been sitting for 4 years, right? Like I was not I'm not a great mechanic now. I knew very little back then. So like there was nothing, yeah, nothing good was gonna come from that. So yeah,
check
don't
your
be too
trailers.
enthusiastic.
Check your trailers,
Yeah.
Check your
people.
trailers. Mm.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
tire
And
pressures, wheel
yeah,
bearings.
and you
Make
want
sure
to
you haven't worn
identify
through a
those
spring shackle.
problems. Yeah. You want to identify those problems so you can trade it for a sketchier trailer at a stoplight before you get on that road
It's
trip.
great. And you
That's
can be
Yeah.
like,
like,
you know what? I checked this guy over and it's great.
Maybe a
Seems
30
legit.
footer with no title.
Let me have this
Exactly.
other trailer that is probably not as good. That sounds
uh,
great.
um, we like the Rockies. They talked about this, and he talked about a trip in a BMW motorcycle, Minneapolis to Newfoundland, another country, not just another state. Before you had phones and that kind of stuff. And something that I'd always been guilty of when I was younger, but I do not make this mistake now, is not knowing what the weather is going to do. I actually brought a coat on this trip because it didn't break 70 degrees the entire time that I was in the Bay Area. And I left 108 to get there. But, so he talks about a first lesson learned is if it's raining in Upper Michigan on Memorial Day weekend, it's snowing in Quebec. Second lesson, roadside assistance from BMW USA is not roadside assistance North America. Say, like, if you're in another country. Third lesson, a toolkit capable of disassembly of your ride can save your butt. You keep it on your motorcycle. I actually do have a small kit that is now in my Porsche. I used to ride a motorcycle. Fourth lesson, the fire department, and this is important for you, Tim, in Houghton, Maine, is very bored on Sunday mornings. So they were there to help make sure when he spilled a pint of gas, he didn't catch himself on fire. Hitchhiking around Acadia National Park and eating lobster is not a bad way to live. I want to come back to that. And then it's about the journey. And if you value the journey, not making it to Newfoundland doesn't matter. And that's the Reader's Digest version. Your attitude does matter. And I was getting mad at at individual details of this, but not, I had to talk myself back out of it because you can wind yourself up and life is miserable and everything sucks in this. But I had to realize that, the absurdity of I am complaining about my life while I'm sitting on the side of the road with assistance coming in my vintage Porsche after having just an absolutely fantastic weekend with amazing friends.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think you can get frustrated.
Mm.
Probably have somewhere to go. Like it
Yes.
is.
You could
not great.
frustrated, yes. Like, angry to the point where you begin to miss the adventure.
Sure.
I'm here. I've got updates from the mechanic on there. This is not going to be cheap because I'm having them do some, the car was running before I got on an airplane. And I'm having them do some things to actually make it better. But it was worth it. Absolutely. It was worth it. It was worth it to be at that party. It was worth it to hang out with those people. It was worth it to, meet new folks, and, see Alameda from people who love that part of the country. There is a perspective where California starts to make sense. And usually it's around that area.
Having just a bit of preparation goes a long way. I'm hoping never to use the bits of preparation we have. Like in the back of the Mercedes is an extra blanket and one of those foldable shovels and like a warning triangle and like a whole bunch of other crap that I'm really not expecting ever to use. And we've never used it. And it's similar as in the Escalade too. First aid kit, survival kit, all in the cars. Never used any of it. Hopefully don't
Let's
ever
not
need to.
ever use.
I'd probably forget it was there by the time I needed it because I haven't used it in so long.
Yeah.
But that little bit of preparation, like help out future you by putting a couple things in there that might be useful sometime.
Yeah. The the trip when I was pulled over on the side of the road, if it was going to go really, really wrong, I did have jackets and a blanket from the last time I drove through the mountains and almost froze because I'd gotten in a hurry and forgotten those things.
Mental's emergency kit is different than most people's.
I had tools.
Oh,
I got a
wow.
Kit Kat and
I found this push pin
On the
and
side of the road.
yeah, and
If I got to
squirrel
MacGyver
tail.
it, I'm gonna MacGyver it. Yeah, I don't
ketchup
care.
packet and a harmonica, and I'm ready.
It does come down to one of the points on there is DJ 914 said necessity is the mother invention, and he's pretty hardcore gearhead, but he's also wicked smart. But I have 4 crazy breakdown stories from when I was young, and each one I figured out something. Sometimes not a good thing, but I did figure it out with an old car. And any length of trip, I bring spares of what I think might fail. But these days I'm with Corey. Just a credit card for the hotel and the rental.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
Becomes the easy button when you can swing it.
Yeah.
of
I was
course.
just annoyed that I had roadside assistance and they wanted to charge me $700 on top of that to tow the car to a specialist in Bakersfield. And I had time. So I got on my phone and I'm like, for $700, I can go to Enterprise, rent a car, rent a trailer, and tow it to my house.
Yeah, if
Yep.
you don't have good roadside assistance, you need probably just a small can of lighter fluid and a Bic lighter
And comprehensive insurance.
and good comprehensive insurance. Yeah,
and
and an
preferably
alibi.
somewhere where you could run away to.
Yeah, an alibi. Yeah,
I don't know what happened. It just caught fire.
fell on fire.
It is an old
Weird.
Porsche. That happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do not
it's-
wish to burn my car. I still love that car.
There might have been a moment where you did, though. Yeah, maybe.
No, I don't think
No,
so. Not
no,
yet.
like,
Not yet.
my
It's too
anger
soon.
was never my
soon.
anger was never at the car. My anger was at these people that I give a lot of money to, and they're like, "We can't help you." And more annoyingly, everything's online. So I'm trying to do this request online, and to verify that I need roadside assistance, they keep calling my wife's phone number, even though I'm putting in my phone number. And that's just what their automatic system was doing. And then I would call and they would say, are you filing a new roadside assistance? And I would say no. And then it would go, well, then you can do this on your phone, and hang up. Why do you have a phone number if you're just going to tell me to use the online? And finally I had to call my insurance company and wade through their automatic thing and say, get me an operator now. And then they finally connected me to a person who connected me to the roadside assistant. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's why you're not picking up. I'm like, yeah, do you see the form where I put in my phone number that you're not calling? Because Vicky's like, they keep trying to call and verify where you are. And I'm like, so so there were things I wanted to burn down. None of them were my car. They were office buildings. I wanted to steal a fire truck and drive through their lobby. But
as long as you picked up some ladies of the evening and put them in the back of your truck.
And
I
put out
have
some
bread.
fires.
I have bread.
I have bread.
fresh baked
Wait.
garlic loaf.
Wasted.
Wasted.
Mm.
I like when he runs through the city. Okay. Okay. Good. Sorry.
I was just saying, like, you need to include that in whatever AI decision you choose to make. Like, wasted and Grand Theft Auto needs to be part of that equation.
Yes. There you go. Now, it's interesting. I have some pictures from this, and I'm really just sharing them for you guys because last week, for reasons I do not understand, it loaded our episode was loaded as a virtual reality. So if you
What
have
does that even mean?
If you have
I don't
VR
know.
goggles, you can sit in there and look at you and then Chris
Oh.
and then Tim. I don't know why it loaded that way, but we still had 3 comments, which tells me nobody's watching the videos. They're listening to the videos, which is great. I'm not going to complain about that.
Fine.
But these were pictures that I took on the way there. That was sunrise over the desert.
Wow.
There's Jeff Gates's Chrysler,
Tiny car.
my tiny little baby, and then this gorgeous manual GTO red
The
interior. Oh God, that car was so
Wow,
cool.
that's so big.
All right. That is the lovely Deb, who is Judge Jeff's better half, and she put this whole thing together. There we all are. There's Dave. There's another picture of Jeff next to Jeff and his family. This is all of Deb's sisters, and they were all dressed up in the 80s. This is the 3 of us having a great time down at this great bar. There's me enjoying a lovely sunset on the side of the road with everything popped open on my car. Another angle on that one. There you go. Lots
You
of
had
artsy
so many-
pictures.
Yeah, you had so much time to make artsy pictures.
Exactly.
The car looks
So much
great,
art.
by the way, Mental.
It
car
does
looks
look great. And and there it is, the Morgan Hill Inn Motel. So if you ever need a cheap, clean room in Morgan Hill,
Where
California.
you just
Bring
paid
cash.
Bring cash.
Yeah. Well, and I had a credit card, and I go there, and the motel's been there, and it had the plastic phone, for the after hours because the lobby was locked. And I picked up the phone, and nothing. And when I hung it back up, that's when I see the Ring camera light up, like kind of out of the. And I'm like, oh,
Hi, I'm
and-
Mental.
yeah.
Bye.
The guy's like, hello. I'm like, hi, I'm sorry. I just, it's like 1 a.m. I'm like, yeah, could I get a room? I'll be right there. And I go in there, and he's kind of, bedhead, like he's been
Obviously.
napping.
Brushing his
And he-
teeth.
Yeah. And he hands me the thing to fill out. And, he's like, it's this much. And I'm like, so, card or cash? And and I said, well, actually he said card or cash. I said, which is easier? And he kind of wakes up a little bit and goes, cash. Yeah. Okay. So I pay for the room in cash. I'm pretty sure the government has no idea that I stayed there, and I'm okay with that, man. He's not getting
Probably
rich
should
at that
hide.
motel.
She probably
Yeah.
should hide that.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Well, I'm glad that we didn't know your story before you told us, because this is a fun use of AI and to try to figure out which story is true, and then they're all true.
Yeah. Which
Good.
is on point. That's on brand right there.
It is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
Which of these is the most ridiculous thing? That's probably the true one.
The
Yep.
answer is yes.
That's what happened, actually. Yes.
The answer is yes.
All right. Do we have anything else we need to talk about this evening?
Do we know what we're talking about next week?
I'll say if you hug your pets, if you're
Oh,
Yeah.
hug your pets. I
Hug
will
your
hug
pets.
my pets. Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
The
He did have a
wiener
pet.
dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was a
I see Chris reaching for one of them.
No, the other one.
I was looking to see if there was one here.
No, the
Yeah.
one that you're looking for is out there in
Oh,
that
well.
black abyss. Anyway, okay, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about next week, as we usually do. Of course, if you have a suggestion and you want us to talk about something, we'd love to hear about what you want to talk about, so we can do that too.
put it in the dilly do.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds
I
good.
guess until next time.
We'll have a good
Bye,
one.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.